Identifying the training needs.
Okay.
The training
Identifying
calendar.
needs. Huh?
Training calendar.
Pardon?
So training calendar.
Training calendar. Okay.
Performance management system.
Process of
Performance management system.
implementing any training.
Process of managing whole trainings. Whole
Whole
training.
training program.
And it has, we have discussed two models.
Training effectiveness. Evaluation.
One we discussed a DIME model where there were 4 stages: assessment,
ADDI.
design, implementation, and evaluation. And another we discussed a D model. Yes, somebody was saying something.
Patrick mode.
Pardon?
Evaluation of trainings. Evaluation of trainings.
Evaluation of training programs. What you can recall from this? This was the last step in the whole managing whole training programs. What you can recall from this?
So, taking feedback.
Training effectiveness from the feedback of the trainees.
Training effectiveness.
Effectiveness, sir.
First feedback. What is their reaction?
Reaction, yes, that is one way. So training ways, we have seen Kirkpatrick's model where training can be evaluated at 4 different levels. And one of them was reaction. Another was
through any test or any test.
Yeah, to that we are trying to see learning. And then whether it is turning into behavior.
Outcome and also the result.
Result.
Outcome result.
Results. Yeah. Kirkpatrick model, it says that evaluate it at 4 levels. Okay. Thank you. So we have seen this. Also, we have seen in detail 2 stages out of this 5 or out of this 4 we have seen in detail. One is evaluation and another was design. Design of training programs. And I said that if we have to design it comprehensively, it should touch some aspects. How many? Which anything you remember?
6 components, sir.
6 components we should think of. And these are anything that you can recall.
So first one was setting objective.
Setting objectives.
Objectives. What are we going to trying to achieve? Okay.
Selection of trainers.
Who will do it? From inside, outside, who will do
The
it?
method and material used for the training.
Method. Will it be simulation based? Will it be virtual reality based? Is it a class? Whether teacher is going to do only or participants are going to do hands-on activity along with them, all these things. Then
Session
material.
planning.
Content, material or a content.
Yeah.
Planning of the sessions also.
The schedule of the program.
Yeah. What was the name actually?
It was developing the plan, lesson plan also.
Lesson plan. Lesson plan. And
feedback.
Huh? Not feedback. I think last is schedule something.
So yeah, the last one was schedule training program.
Scheduling, yes. Yes, actually, which day? Is it Saturday, Sunday? What will be the timings? When is the break? Tea break, all these things. Okay. And we started with talking about any important terminology that you can recall from compensation that we discussed. Any important terminology. Anything new you learned about compensation? Or any terminology that you forgot after doing BTech, MBA 10 years back and now?
The balanced scorecard framework.
Yeah, that we discussed before this in compensation. Balanced scorecard framework we discussed during performance appraisal, performance management.
Job evaluation.
Job evaluation. In compensation, two things are matters. One,
Monetary and non-monetary compensation.
yes, compensation will be monetary as well as non-monetary.
Direct and non-direct.
It can be direct and non-direct. And we said that while designing compensation system means for the whole organization, hierarchy of payment will be there. Somebody gets least payment, somebody gets highest payment, and that hierarchy is decided. In that, while deciding that hierarchy, one of the important thing is actually equity issue.
Equity, theory of equity.
Theory of equity, Adam's theory of equity, I said that, do you remember? Okay. Equity issue. People compare their salary with others, and these others may be people from their own institute, or this might be people from other companies. The people from their own company may be people from the same department or different department. That is called internal equity issue. And people compare their salary with people working in other companies. That is called external equity issue. And while designing compensation system, this equity issue need to be taken care. And that's where comes, there are two ways to design compensation system. One, suppose you imagine a situation that in your company, new position pops up like privacy manager. How much he or she, the person occupying that position, should be paid? Should that person be paid equivalent to CMD, or should that person be paid equivalent to Chaprasi? Somewhere in between it will lie. Is there a position called privacy manager in your company?
No, sir.
They take care of data confidentiality, data privacy. It's a mandatory position now in Europe.
So
European
we have
compensation
CISO,
manager and
Okay.
compensation,
Chief?
compensation manager is
information.
privacy.
Cyber security is related to cyber security.
Okay. Okay.
Privacy.
Okay. So these are related to a lot of issues, customers, data, lot of issues. Okay. So how much it should be paid? Or suppose new law comes and that makes a one particular position and that's a mandatory. How much it should be paid? Now there is the issue, how much in organization where it fits. So while deciding salary, how much it should be, people use two types of method. One, they compare with outside organization, how much others are giving, if at all that position exists. Okay. Or do the job evaluation. When they compare with outside organizations, they are trying to take care of external equity issue. Sorry. They are trying to take care of this external equity issue. And when they do, organizations do job evaluation, they try to take care of internal equity issue. This we have seen in last class. Many of these things we are not going to do in our day-to-day HR job, especially compensation. This deciding structure we are not going to do in our day-to-day job. But this is for information, how it is built. Okay. So one more thing I said is that anybody remembers what is job evaluation? What we try to do in job evaluation?
If we found out the worth of the job, relative worth of the job.
It is very important that relative worth of the job. We try to find out relative worth of the job. Relative to what?
So relative to others in the
Relative to other jobs existing in the same organization. Okay. This is relative to other jobs existing in the same organization. Okay. And for that, there actually, when we say relative, there is a comparison of jobs. There is a comparison of jobs. And when we have to compare, say individual one with individual other, we are not comparing individuals by the sake. For example, I am saying program A with program B. we need some criteria for comparison. Fruit A with the fruit B. We need comparison criteria. Say sweetness or sourness, whether a particular strength of sweetness in a particular apple and another apple, or say apple and mango, whatever it is. But when we are comparing these two, either sweetness or some criteria is required. So similarly, when we compare the jobs, we need some criteria. Okay. And that criteria, we call it as compensation factors. We will have some criteria, not one, multiple criteria to compare the jobs. Okay. And these are called compensable factors, actually, not station, compensable factors. Are you able to recall this? The only thing is, whatever we choose as a compensable factors must be present in all jobs. Then only we will be able to compare. Are you able to recall?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So compensable factors. So first we have, just a minute. So when we compare, we need compensable factors, and these compensable factors must be present in all jobs. And I showed you some of the compensable factors used by US government and this. I have shared that PPT with you. Okay. And we have seen that once we have compensable factors, we can compare. There are some ways to compare the jobs. And one of the 3 ways I have given in PPT, one of the simplest way, which is not there in PPT, is suppose you have less number of jobs. If it's your shop and 5 jobs are different jobs are there. Cashier, the person serving, suppose a restaurant, cook, then the people serving, the people cleaning it, and cashier, 4 different. Then you can decide based on, okay, which is important. Simply people decide which is the most important, which is the least important. That is the ranking method. Then for rest of the thing, you've seen, I will share this PPT. Without that, I think you are not able to relate it. Is my PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So compensable factors are those that have jobs in common. Okay. That can be used to establish how the jobs compare to one another. And these are some examples. For example, Equal Pay Act in United States of America, they use 4 criteria. One is skill, effort, responsibility, and working condition. And they compare all the jobs based on these 4. I have shown you video of Hay Consultancy. They use 3 criteria: know-how, problem solving, and accountability. Even if you take sweeper job, probably accountability may be less, know-how less, problem solving less, so worth is less, salary is less. Working conditions, I have shown you that people use this different criteria to compare all the jobs. Now the question comes is, how to compare the jobs? Okay. The simple ranking method. Then there is something called classification system. There is something called point system, and then factor comparison method. In last class, I have discussed you with the point system. Are you able to recall? I said that there are 3 criteria. Are you with me? I'm not getting sense of the class. Just I will recall, because this job evaluation is little bit complex issue. Are you able to recall this example? I said that we can compare job evaluation system. The job is compared and finally some points are given. The point system of job evaluation require managers to quantify in objective terms the value of various elements of a specific job. For example, I gave example. There are suppose in a company, we want to evaluate job based on point method. So there are some compensable factors chosen. For example, job complexity, effort, and working condition. These are 3 compensable factors. People decide also how much weightage we should give. For example, in that place, this job complexity 60%, effort 30%, working condition 10%. Once you decide compensable factor, within that compensable factor, decide degrees, different degrees. Because some jobs will be very complex, some jobs will be less complex. Define that. What do you mean by very complex, medium complex, less complex, and divide marks among them. Similarly, effort, high effort, say medium effort, low effort. Define what is high effort, medium effort, low effort, and give the marks. Similar way, working conditions, define into 3-4 categories, give the marks. So first we identify compensable factor and then give the degrees for each compensable factor and allocate points. Degrees represent different level of difficulty associated with each factor. And I gave the example of working condition. 3 degrees I showed you. For example, degree 1, quiet air-conditioned office. It's a good working condition. Noisy hot factory. Compared to this is tough working condition. Hot, noisy, gaseous underground mining situation. This is tougher than working in a factory setting. So the tougher is getting 100, 50 points, 25 points. Once you know the job, say account manager job, the account managers are sitting in office, then we know that, okay, 25 points for that job. Suppose there is a job of, say, supervisor in a factory. We know that supervisor has to be present in factory setting. So he is not sitting in AC always, factory setting, 50 points. The supervisors who are doing jobs underground mines, for them it will be 100 points, supervisors. And then similarly, we will calculate 100 points for job complexity and effort that will be defined. And then based on that that points will be there. Calculate job complexity for 100 marks, effort for 100 marks, how much that job is getting, working condition, how much that job is getting. Multiplied by 0.6, 0.3, 0.1 respectively, calculate the marks. Finally, you will get some number out of 100. And that number you compute points and assign wages. You say 1,000 rupees, basically. Suppose 36 points, 36,000. 80 points, 80,000. That's the point evaluation, job evaluation method. We have seen this in last class. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then while allocating this wage rates to the like you said that 1 point is equal to 1,000. So that is a fictitious figure or like how it is being arrived?
There people actually adjust this figure from time to time. For that, people look at what is the condition in the market and they decide whether 1 point should be 1,000 rupees or $1,000 or $10. That is decided by a committee. They take care into account inflation, how much others are paying. If you multiply this, how much our salary will come. They will take into account that point. That committee decides a priori. 1 point is equal to how many rupees or it is.
Okay.
Generally, they look at what is happening in the market and this. We can't say that 1 point is equal to 10 paisa in 2024. They have some, they look at this condition in the market, inflation rate, location, and then they take a call. But once that call is taken, that is consistent for all jobs. That is consistent for all jobs that we are going to do job evaluation. So what happens is, whatever points are coming for the jobs, we multiply by the same formula so that consistency is maintained. So this is a method. This is easy method, logical, widely used method. Advantages is more sophisticated, relative to use. Value of job is expressed in monetary terms. but a lot of politics happens actually in deciding what are compensable factors. So this is one method. Similarly, there are other methods. I will cover one more and I will stop. I said I will cover only one, but still I will cover. Imagine Indian government. Can you tell me some jobs that comes under Indian government? Is CBI under Indian government?
Yes, sir.
Employer?
Yes.
IAS Babus?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
IPS?
Yes.
Indian Foreign Services?
Yes.
Railway?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
IITs?
IT is autonomous.
No, Indian government. I am sir autonomous.
Okay.
Autonomous, they have academic autonomy to run the institute, to decide the program, but salary comes from the government. Salary comes from the government. Okay. What about central universities?
Government.
Government. Okay. Now imagine whether assistant professor in central university, say Bodh Gaya, there is central university. Where is central university in Bihar? Patna?
Patna University is
Patna University. Whether the assistant professor there in Patna University should get high salary or collector in Patna.
Lecturer in Patna.
Why?
Elector.
Why?
Sir,
The salary of
Working
the-
conditions.
job evaluation and,
Conditions.
as you told, condition
Pardon?
of the job.
Pardon, Yogesh Kumar?
सर जॉब का टाइप उस तरह का है कि कंडीशंस कैसी हैं किस तरह से
His
उसका
working conditions are tougher than the.
No, what about intellectual condition of professor?
Yes,
When you
sir,
have
their
challenge?
qualifying degree is higher than
Qualifying
the
degree is higher.
um,
Collector may be BA guy.
uh,
He has done only BA and then
but he-
cracked. All
professor has to
India.
PhD. No.
Professor has to have a PhD. Assistant professor also.
Mm.
Now employer is same, but nature of jobs is so different.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Employer is same. Nature of jobs is so different. How to deal with that? And if you look at government as an employer, they have wide variety of jobs. Armed forces are under them. What about the soldier in Kargil or some Siachen? Their working conditions are very, very tough.
Very tough.
Yes, sir.
Very tough. Compared to a IB guy probably working, intelligence bureau guy working in Delhi. Same, okay, the very tough. Indian Railways, a totally different type of working condition, nature of job. So railway guys should get more salary or the professor should get more salary. You see the nature of jobs, comparison is very, very tough. I showed you video last time, okay, about the Hay Consultancy, where that lady was comparing the job of Paul and Burnt working in the same company, one guy operations manager, one guy finance manager, and this. Comparing this within one company is comparatively easy, okay? But comparing this type of diverse set of jobs is very, very tough. Do you agree? Now see,
Right.
once you say the collector working conditions are different, Ajit is saying that qualification are different. Okay. So when the employer is having multiple, see, imagine Tata Group, they have multiple companies in multiple domains. And then it varies, but Tata Group doesn't use this method, but government employer, you consider, they have so many different types of jobs. Okay. And comparing it becomes really tough. In such a situation, point system doesn't work, ranking system doesn't work. Okay. They use something called classification system. Okay. We'll see a bit about this classification system, because challenge is different in classification system. But government also use some form to check internal equity. classification system. Okay. It categorizes job into groups, often called grades. Okay. The groups are called classes if they contain similar jobs, or grades if they contain very different types of jobs. Okay. All the jobs in each group are of roughly same value for pay purposes. After categorizing rank grades at level of importance to the organization, after categorizing, they rank actually grades depending on importance. And then determine how many categories or classification to use for grouping jobs. For example, government, so many different jobs, Indian Railways, education system, defense system, external affairs system, internal security, there are different jobs. Okay, IB is there, CBI is there. Then Indian judiciary system, government is paying to them. So Indian judiciary system, all that you have to set for equal for pay purposes, and you have to ensure the internal equity, at least try for internal equity. So how it happens, they classify the whole jobs into some groups. A priori, they take a call whether we should classify it in 8 or 10 groups. So all jobs will be divided into 10 groups. Group descriptions will be written, and then they will be ranked, which is the topmost job, which is the lowest, and ranking. How it happens, we'll see. For example, in 6th Pay Commission, they created 20 distinct pay grades in the government jobs. Okay. This is a description of 7 in 6th Pay Commission. For example, nature of assignment. They write, if a job you have to put it in 7th group, then if the job matches this description of nature of assignment and level of responsibility to group 7, you will put it. So for each group, they have written such a description. For example, the nature of assignment: perform specialized duty in a defined functional or program area involving wide variety of problems or situations, develops information, identifies interrelationship, and takes action consistent with objective of the function or program sought. Level of responsibility: work is assigned in terms of objective, priorities, or deadlines. The employee works independently in resolving most conflicts. Completed work is evaluated for conformance to policy, guidelines such as regulations, precedent cases, and policy statements. Require considerable interpretation and adoption. If a job, nature of assignment and responsibility matches with this, the job will be put into group 7. Similarly, there will be description for group 8. There will be description for group 6, so on and so forth. They divided into 20. And then there will be decision whether group 20 is the highest or group 1 is the lowest or highest. That description will be there. And then the jobs matching this description, they will be put into buckets. This is another example. This is a textbook example from one. Group 1 description, group 6 description, group 10 descriptions. Some description is given. Group 1, it is like the simplest routine work in office, business or fiscal operation, elementary work of a subordinate, technical character in professional, scientific or technical field. So whatever matches in this, you will put it into group 1. There is a description of group 6, you will put it into that matching. So this is called actually classification system. That's how the government jobs are classified for pay purposes. The advantage is it helps us dealing with hundreds of jobs separately for pay purposes. Okay. Easy to understand and easy to communicate to employees. The toughest part is actually writing this description. It's very, very tough to write these descriptions. And then once the description is written, it's easy to put into buckets, but writing description is tough. And based on then they decide pay hierarchy. Lost? नींद आ रहा है? Similarly, there are some other methods, you can read it. What I'm trying to say is there are scientific methods to decide the worth of job in a company, relative worth of a job in a company, and that helps us to take care of internal pay equity. How to create competitive market pay plan? When actually company decides relative worth of a job in an organization, it will only tell which job should be given highest pay, which job should be given second highest pay, which job should be given third highest pay, so on and so forth, which job should be given least pay. But how much to pay is again important decision. We cannot ignore the market completely, what others are paying, because otherwise it's a difficult. So when the companies actually decides pay plan, they consider both the things. One, relative worth of a job in a company to ensure internal equity, as well as what is paid for the same job in the market. Somewhere comparable it should be. So that also they consider. So if simply price their job based on what other employers are paying, they use market-based approach. This is, you don't have to do the work. Many employers also base their pay plans on job evaluations. However, even with the job evaluation approach, managers must adjust pay rates to fill the market. After all, you want employees' pay to be equitable internally as well as equitable externally. Equitable internally means relative to what their colleagues in the firm are earning, but also competitive to what other employers are paying. That is external equity. Competitive market pay system. It is a pay system in which employers actually pay rates. Employers' pay rates are competitive in the market, labor market. So there, another thing helps is wage curve. Wage curve shows relationship between the value of the job and average wage paid for the job. For example, here is a wage curve. Our job's point values. For example, we use point system. For each job, you will get some point. Okay. So for 10 points in that industry, how much is paid? That is market wage rate. There is a curve. This is called market wage rate. For that, you need data from market. There are companies which sell this data for a particular industry, say software industry. What are the different pay rates available? So companies purchase this data from the companies which provide this data. So this will be purchased from outside. So you have this knowledge. Can you see my cursor?
Yes, sir.
This is a market wage curve. This data is not with you. You purchase it from others, your company's purchases. But this data is with you. If you do job evaluation, for different jobs, you have the job points. Suppose here is 10 points. If this is the 10 points, what is the market rate? You will get this data from here. If this is the, suppose 75 points. For 75 points, what is the market rate? And then you look at how much you are giving. Or if your company already exists for 10 years, this data is with you. For 75 points, what is your current rate? And then you see what is the gap. And then you need to adjust this gap. Kajal madam asked a question, how to take a call? 1 point is equal to how much? 1 point is equal to how much? While transferring points into money. She asked this question while discussing point system. Suppose it is 100 points. And for 100 points, the salary is coming 1 lakh. That is approximately 10,000 as per market rate. Then the company has a policy. Do we want to pay less than market rate? Do we want to pay as per market rate? Do we want to pay more than market rate? I discussed, company takes a conscious decision. Suppose your decision is to pay more than market rate, 5% more than market rate. Then this curve will give you idea for 100 points, what is the market rate? 100 points is 1 lakh market rate, means for 1 point, it is, the slope of this line will give you that. 1 point, it is 1,000, and you want to pay 5% more, then multiply 1,000 by 1.05, you will get that and use that. actual real life, what happens is company uses this to adjust their salary after certain years. Market sometimes moves very fast. The salary changes in the companies goes slow, or vice versa. It may happen. So companies draw internal wage curve. They draw market wage curve, compare benchmark jobs, some jobs, and they adjust these salaries. 5 years or 10 years, companies keep adjusting. That helps us to adjust the salaries. Okay. Are you with me or lost? I'm not understanding whether you are understanding.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
One thing I understand
sir,
is the
yes.
good audience keeps
Yes,
silent.
sir.
Sir.
Whether are you doing wellness programs also, meditation programs? If your company is running, I think it's a big success. Everybody is in silent mode. Yeah. Can I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is about how the salaries are decided actually. Okay. Can you tell me one thing? What are the different things that you have seen on your or other people's salary slip? What are the different components that you have seen? Have you seen your salary slip?
Yes, sir.
I asked this question in MBA interview. Half of the work experience candidate fails here. They're not able to tell. What are the different components that you see in salary slip?
Basic.
Basic
Basic.
Basic HRA.
Pardon?
Basic HRA.
HRA,
DA,
DA,
special allowance,
which allowance?
special allowance,
Ex gratia.
Pardon?
mobile allowance,
Right. What else?
electricity allowance,
PF.
PF is there, sir.
Yes, I see if you fit in that.
Pardon?
Attire allowance.
I see.
Attire allowance.
NPS deductions.
Which deduction?
NPS deduction.
Medical allowance.
Variable pay.
PRP is there. Performance related pay, PRP.
4 times, sir.
retention
Transport
pay,
allowance.
Is my screen visible actually?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The gratuity deduction.
Gratuity is the
professional
Basic.
Sir, educational allowance.
statutory bonus,
Pardon?
statutory bonus,
Is there a statutory bonus for managers?
no,
It is
someone who is
it
drawing
is
less
variable.
than or equivalent to 21,000.
21,000.
Okay. Statutory bonus. What else?
Gratuity is not in payslip.
Okay.
Grade pay.
The tax deductions,
Tax, income tax.
tax deductions, right?
This is not what you get.
deduction part.
Is reduction.
The field compensatory allowance.
Field compensatory.
Yeah, hardship allowance. Uniform allowance.
So on and so forth. Okay. Allowance. We can basically, you look at this, there are components. can classify it into basic three categories. You look at this. One is basic. Second, you have different types of allowances. And then you have
Deduction, sir.
deduction is fourth category, I can say. But deduction is not what you are getting now. Is this color visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Then there are legal, some tax deduction and this, but this you are not getting actually. This is deducted, and neither you are going to get that afterwards. Gratuity that you are going to get, gratuity deduction doesn't happen from your pocket.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
Right,
person.
sir. It
a component.
Pardon?
Not a
The
part.
company has to
Part of-
pay.
Huh?
I will get company to pay the gratuity.
from the company
That is
corpus.
not from your. In
And
PF
fine.
there is a compensation from both. Okay. So if you look at this, there we can clear cut say there are three different types you can find. Okay. One is in red. I don't know which color it is. I am color blind. Which color is? So one is basic. Then there is some performance related pay patterns. And then there is allowances. We can call this, we can divide it into three basic components of a salary. Okay. Whatever we have told. So we will have base pay. We will have some variable performance based
और कहाँ लगी?
component, and third
And
is
the benefits.
benefits.
यहाँ पे भी लग गई.
Benefits. Okay. So
स्पेलो तक नहीं दे रहा हूँ. Add करके हो रहा है.
this is benefit. This is benefit part. And
ये नहीं करो.
this is variable part. So basically we can see that there are three different components. Any salary package you take, you will find these three components in some way or other. Okay. Now we will little bit take idea how these three components works actually in the salary package. Okay, how they change or how they adjusted. Base pay is the regular wages or salary that an employee earns. It is typically set according to the labor market and the internal classification of the job. Okay, the base salary depends on that, both wage market and internal classification of the job. How this base pay gets adjusted across globe? This is again important thing. How the base changes in base pay happens. Okay. An employee's base pay changes typically grows as their tenure with the company increases. They may get promotions, and with that promotions, the base pay increases. Or every year also, some basic increases. Government, 3%, it will increase. Okay. So seniority wise, it increases. There are several methods of giving raises. One is seniority based. Another is merit based. Another is skill based. Cost of living based adjustments are common. What we are getting in India government every year, 3% increases, even if we don't get promotion, that is seniority method. The number of years of service increases, your base pay will increase. Okay. Even if you remain on the same designation. When an employee's salary reaches the top of the range of their job, a firm has three choices. Stop giving the employee raises, give them promotion, or reclassify their current job into higher salary range. That is then promotion and then again changes. This is called seniority based raises. It increases employee's salary based on number of years they have worked for the firm. The assumption is that longer tenured employees are more valuable to the firm because their higher levels of experience and greater familiarity with the way the firm does business. These plans are common in public sector, in unionized workforce, because they are generally seen by employees as objective and easy to understand and mostly fair. This is seniority based. But not everywhere the seniority based base component changes, basic changes can happen. The issue with the seniority based is changes in environment may create issue for pay compression and pay inversion. What is that we will see. Then there are merit based changes. In merit based pay raises are linked to job performance. Suppose you are high performer. There are say deputy manager sales. The high performer deputy manager sales will get more change in base pay compared to others. And definitely base pay changes related to that other component changes. You are very well aware of that. Because many other components are related to how much DA should be given is based on some percentage of basic pay. Okay. So these are sometimes based on reaching certain productivity goals or other discrete milestones. The base pay can change, basic salary can change. They might also come from adding more responsibilities to a job. These raises are earned by employees for the work that they have done in the past. Probably you may not get the promotion, but they will add responsibility. Because responsibility is added, basic pay will be increased. Some companies do that. Okay. Or, however, in many firms, earning your merit-based raise is almost automatic. In USA, 75% companies claim that we give change in basic pay based on merit. But when the actual research was done, 1 minute, give me a minute. So in USA, almost 75% of companies, private companies, claim that they give change their basic pay based on merit. But when research was done, it was found that it is almost automatic. There is nothing called merit. There is no link. Research has shown that the link between pay and performance in many firms with a merit-based raise system is not strong. Almost everyone's performance is good enough for a raise. In such cases, incentive power of the raise is diminished as employees begin to see them as entitlement. About 70% of all US companies use a merit-based raise system, though they are uncommon in the public sector. Okay? And there is another way to increase your base salary is skill-based. Okay? Skill-based. You acquire certain skill set. Because you acquired certain skill set, your basic pay will be increased. For example, in government teacher job, previously D.Ed qualification teachers were there. If they do graduation and complete BA or BCom, there will be one salary increment in that. Their performance may change or may not change, but they have acquired some education or extra skill set, so basic pay will be increased. Okay. Skill-based pay raises offered are to employees to reward them for earning new credential on particular skills. These plans are most common for factory line workers in manufacturing industry. This was also many IT companies and other companies which were affected by fast digitization. They came up with skill-based approach in last 4 or 5 years back. If you don't do some certificate programs to upskill yourself, there is no change in basic skill. Only if you do some certain skill set, they will give the budget, training budget. You have to search, you have to enroll, do it, then only there will be change in your pay package. Otherwise, no. Okay. But the only thing is when companies design this skill-based basic pay change, they have to ensure which skills employees are learning. It should be related to their company. It should be useful to their company. And there is another cost of living adjustments. Many firms in USA offer annual cost of living adjustments to their employees. In India, dearness allowance is the actually cost of living adjustment allowance. We don't change that, but DA changes according to cost of living. Okay. So how just adjustments to base pay work? Generally, what happens for a company, there will be a particular budget. How much money can be spent on salary? Of their total budget, how much can be spent on salary? That will be a priori decided. Okay? In reality, all of these adjustments typically operate within a single annual budget process in most established organizations. You have certain budget from salary. From that budget, certain amount will go for basic pay. Everybody's. Okay. Certain amount will definitely go for the benefit programs, allowances. And then remains a certain portion, which is for your incentives or whatever it is. Okay. Based on your variable pay based on performance. And then individual performs differently, and then that amount will be distributed. At the beginning of a fiscal year, a firm will budget for an average increase in compensation, including cost of living adjustments and merit increases across their employee base. For example, one source finds that most common annual increase in the US to be around 3%. Every year, at least 3% salary change happens in USA, which might represent 2% for cost of living adjustment. In that 3%, 2% are going for cost of living adjustment. 0.5% for promotion, salary changes that are happening for promotions. Once built into annual budget, managers will be given some discretion to determine individual pay raises, typically within constraints set up by HR. At the end of the year, with the best performance getting a bit more and the worst performance getting a bit less, because 0.5% only remains. That 0.5% will be distributed based on performance. So long as the total hits the budget number, you cannot cross the budget number. That's how it happens at macro level, company level. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So there are what we are seeing is how the salaries are decided, how the salary structure in the organization is decided. Salary structure means salary hierarchy, pay hierarchy in the organization. Which job will get highest, which job will get second highest, least, all that, how that decisions are taken. And again, I am saying in that decision, equity plays an important role. I'm talking about equity, but do you know what is equity? Do you know what is equity?
No.
Ownership.
I think I should have spent some time that time itself. Pardon?
Salary comparison between
Comparison, okay. Just give me a minute. I'll spend because almost so much time is spent on equity. Let me talk about equity. Is my screen visible? I will only discuss equity theory a bit, so that's important. At most basic level, the employment relationship is about exchanging employees' time and service for pay and opportunities to develop skills, knowledge, fulfilling work, and so forth. There is an exchange. Employees are giving something, in return, they are getting something from the organization. So there is an exchange. And people want this exchange to be fair.
Yes, sir.
Organization also want it to be fair, and the employees also want it to be fair. Organization don't want to pay to the people for doing nothing. Okay, there will be disgruntlement. Same way, employees, if they are working, they want the due. But what is fair exchange varies from person to person and situation to situation. That makes it complex. Okay. Have you seen for the same job, people coming from tier 1 institutes will expect different salaries from people coming from tier 2 and tier 3 institutes? expectations. Does expectation varies? How much I should get for doing XYZ job? If someone is coming from IITs, someone is coming from local colleges. For the amount they are getting, somebody might be very content. I am getting more. And somebody might feel that I am getting very, very less. So this what is fair exchange actually varies for person to person and situation. Equity, there are three principles. One is equality principle. Equality principle says that everyone in the group should receive the same outcome. Okay. Then there is a need principle. It says that those with the greatest need should receive more outcome than others with less need. Anbarasan is going to construct house, so he need more money, so he should get more. I am not doing, I am meditating now, so less. That is need principle. Okay. And the third is equity principle. Equity principle says that people should be paid in proportion to their contribution. And the salary actually are given based on this equity principle, not on equality or need principle. Across globe, compensation is based on this equity principle. People should be paid in proportion to their contribution. Now, what is people's contribution? The work they do. But when they come to office, they are not only bringing actually the outcome that they are giving, they are bringing their years of experience, they are bringing their qualifications, not only outcome. Okay. So feelings of equity are explained by the equity theory. So what the equity theory says is this. Employees determine feelings of equity by comparing their own outcome by input ratio to the outcome and input ratio of another person. So what are the outcomes that employee get? They get pay, benefits, promotions, recognition, workspace, learning while doing that job, interesting job, status. All these are outcomes. That is what employee get from the organization for working. And what employees give to the organization? They give skill sets, effort, performance, reputation, hours, experience, qualification. All that is the input that people give at the job. Okay? And then people compare their own outcomes by input with others' outcomes by inputs. And they take a call. They don't take pen and paper and keep calculating. That's their gut feeling. अरे वो तो उतना काम नहीं करता पर उसको इतना मिल रहा है. That's their comparison. Okay. And this comparison matters. Based on that comparison, their perceptions get formed, whether they get due or whether they don't get due, whether they get what they deserve or whether they don't get what they deserve, or are they getting more than what they deserve. And it has consequences. And people try to correct this inequity. What they do, suppose I feel that I'm not getting what I deserve. What options do I have? Probably I may go to my boss and try to talk, but you know how much it helps in real life. Very rarely. Suppose it doesn't help. Kaam kam kar do, typical government. You reduce your input. So when you reduce your input, then output by input ratio increases. Okay? Or you put your legs in others' work so that their outcomes come down. Office politics starts. Reduce our inputs, increase our outcomes. Somebody might be very, very open-minded. Okay, I may be lagging, so let me try hard. Increase others' inputs. Put legs in their work so that they find it difficult to do. They have to put a lot of effort. Reduce others' outputs. Change our perception. Sometimes this happens psychologically. Suppose I feel that my colleagues are really brilliant people. Suppose 3-4 years I get very low rating. And I start feeling that yes, this guy is doing really great. He is from MIT. This guy is doing very great. He is from Harvard. I am from a this, or I don't deserve. I should be content that I am here with them. Once that happens, my perception changes about myself, then whatever I am getting is more than enough for me. That also happens. And this equity is actually plays a very important role in organization, because at max then people actually change their jobs also. They create organizational politics and all this, and they can leave the company also. So organizations want to take care of this equity feelings. And for that, they do job evaluation. For that, they compare the jobs. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Aishwarya. So this was about designing the system, organizational compensation system. When actually we start administering compensation system, some issues comes. There are three common issues while administering the wages or salaries. One is the ongoing process of managing wage and salary structure. Managers must be sensitive to the costs and must be vigilant about managing them properly. It involves adjustment to wages and salaries as a result of pay raises or changes in the job responsibilities. There are three issues while administering the salaries that organizations or HR managers need to be sensitive about. One is pay secrecy. Another is pay compression. Third is pay inversion. You might be aware that many companies, there is a policy that employee cannot discuss his or her salary with the colleagues. In USA, by law, it is not allowed, but still it is there in a different forms. And now US government is coming up with another law where it will be very common that private company employees discussing their salary with their colleagues, teammates, and this. So it creates another issue. So company takes a conscious decision whether we should go for pay secrecy or not. That is one issue. Then there are another issues, pay compression and pay inversion. Two type of things happens. Have you seen that sometimes it happens? Suppose, imagine the situation that imagine the situation where 20 years work ex person is getting salary similar to say 10 years work experience person, almost similar. There is not much difference between. They should get considerably different salary, even if at same designation. But that is not happening. It is coming very similar to that. That is one problem. Another problem is that sometimes say, consider IIM Kashipur placement. Okay. A company visited IIM Kashipur, say in 2024, and hired 5 people at a package of say 15 lakh rupees. And these people started working. In 2025, their performance appraisal happened, and say 5% their salary increased after that. How much it will come? Somewhere around 15.75 if they give around 5% to all also. Okay, 15.75 lakh. But in 2025 placement, next year, they have selected people and who joined their company in June 2025. They were offered a salary of 16 lakh in campus placement to attract the candidates, because otherwise they are not going to get candidates. Now what happens in June 2025, they have freshers who's from the same college with 0 experience after MBA. They are getting 16 lakh salary, and they have people with them hired from the same college 1 year before, and now who has 1 year's experience, but their salary is 15.75. Are you getting the problem?
Right,
Now the
sir.
people with same qualification, same college, similar thing, and plus 1 year's experience are getting salary less than the freshers. Sometimes it happens. Why it happens? Because salary in the organization changes slower than the what changes are happening in the external market. If they don't offer 16 lakh in the campus placement here, probably nobody they are going to get because others are offering much more. So somehow they offered. They know that, but they offered. So this is the two issues that comes up. Okay, one is called pay inversion, another is called pay compression. Okay. Pay compression occurs when individuals with substantially different levels of experience or performance abilities are paid wages or salaries that are relatively equal. It is very common. It happens. Or pay inversion happens when the external market changes so rapidly that new employees are actually paid more than the experienced employees. How to avoid this? To avoid this, we have to focus on wage curves and revisit our wage curve again and again, compare it with market-based wage curve. Okay. HR manager individually cannot do anything unless company purchases that information about market wage-based curve. Then it is only possible. Or you have some source where you get market wage-based curve. Revisit that and do. Generally, IT companies try to do this 3 to 5 years, once in 3 to 5 years, so that they adjust accordingly. But they do it at corporate level. Okay. Compensation is getting dragged. Okay. I said that in whole, whatever is given in our pay slip, we can divide it into 3 different terms. One is basic pay, second is pay for performance, and third is benefits. Pay for performance is called incentives. Okay. These are financial or non-financial rewards paid to workers whose performance exceeds some predetermined standards. Okay. There are some predetermined standards. Those employees who exceed this, they will get them in proportion to that. All incentive plans are pay for performance plans. We don't have time. Why incentives to discuss? Okay. Incentives are given at different levels. Okay. Suppose as an individual, I exceed, I can get. But imagine individual employees exceeding in their, but the plant is not able to achieve the target. Can it happen in real life? One individual employee performing very well and exceeding his or her targets, or a group of employees, some 30-40 employees exceeding their targets, but plant is not doing well. Company is not doing well. Can it happen?
Happen.
It happens.
Happens.
So incentives are given for individual performance. Incentives are given for group performance. Incentives are given for company level performances. Okay. Some companies give only individual performance-based incentives. Some companies gives combination of individual and group performance. It may happen that 30% incentive will be based on your individual performance. 40% incentive will be based on plant performance, how your plant is doing, and rest 30% is based on how company is doing. Depends how much, but there will be different combinations to decide finally your incentives. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So individual incentives is based on individual's target. There are some group incentive plans that I will discuss. Okay. So these are some commons: gain sharing plan, profit sharing plans, stock option plans, and employee stock ownership plans. Okay. So gain sharing plans, profit sharing plans, these are plans in which all or almost or most employees receive a share of firm's annual profits. If company earns money, some percentage will be shared with the employees. This is not individual, these are not given for individual performance. These are group incentive plans or team incentive plans. When we as a company, we as a plant are doing well, then only your employees will get that. So profit sharing plans, when the company does well, some percentage will be shared, okay, and for their annual profits. These profits will be shared either quarterly or annually. The question is how much to share. Okay. Approximately 15 to 20% profits is distributed among employees in USA. I don't have data for India. I don't think India they share 15 to 20%. I don't know how much. In some cases, this amount is deposited in a trust accounts for the employee's retirement, and the money will be given when the people leave, not today. Okay. Rationale behind profit sharing is that everyone in the organization can expect to benefit when company does well. Okay. These are profit sharing plans. There are another group level plans that is called gain sharing plans. Okay. Gain sharing plans. These plans are not related to any way with the profit. Okay. Many times company comes up with different cost saving measures. And they want support of employees to succeed these cost saving measures. And suppose the employee succeeds in saving cost, so some portion of that saved cost will be distributed among employees. That is called gain sharing plans. Okay. For example, these plans are designed to share the cost savings from productivity improvements with employees. The underlying assumption is that employees and employers have the same goals and thus should share incremental economic gains. Typically, 25% of the dollar saving is distributed to employees from cost saving measures. Okay. There is a typical plan, Scanlon plan, that was given by one union leader in 1935. It's a gain sharing plan. You can read it afterwards. Then there are stock options. Okay. One way to tie incentive to the performance of the firm is actually to give the stocks. It is an incentive plan established to give senior managers the option to buy company stock in a future at a predetermined rate. Okay. Then there are ESOPs. It was very popular once upon a time in IT companies. Employee stock ownership plans. These are company-wide plans in which a firm contributes shares of its own stock to a trust, and the trust distributes the stock to employees on retirement or separation from the firm. The basic logic about these two were that if you have the shares, you feel ownership for the company, so you will put more efforts to ensure that company sustains in the long term. That was the logic. Okay. This was about incentives. I will show a short thing why incentive doesn't work. It's very important that to understand that incentives has a limit. Okay. Just a minute. Incentive doesn't work always. Okay. There is a limit to incentives. I'm sharing my screen.
Did you know that companies often set up time bombs for themselves?
Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Truth
sir.
is,
Yes.
you may be this very bomb. Did you know that companies often set up time bombs for themselves? Truth is, you may be this very bomb. Here's a usual collaborator. Like any other human being, our mind is constantly struggling to choose a course of action, evaluating different incentives. These incentives can either be intrinsic or extrinsic. But only the strongest incentive will trigger action. The question is, which one? Organizations mostly rely on monetary rewards to motivate their employees. Yet, such incentives create at least two important problems. We call the first problem the incentive life cycle, or the Cobra effect, named after a cobra plague of Delhi in the 19th century. At the time, the city was infested with snakes, and in order to get rid of the problem, the governor introduced a bounty for cobra skins. At first, the population of snakes started to decrease. Productivity increased. But then, when it became more and more difficult to catch cobras, people found a way to game the system. They started farming them. When the governor realized it and stopped paying for skins, cobras became worthless and farmers released them into the city. In other words, monetary rewards led to the opposite effect compared to what was hoped for. It is the very same adverse incentive mechanism that contributed to the recent financial crisis. The second problem is equally vexing. We call it the blood donor dilemma, or the incentive competition effect. Let's say, for instance, that we wanted to increase the volume of blood donations. To do that, we introduce an extrinsic reward and start paying blood donors. Oddly enough, empirical evidence shows that following such a policy change, the number of blood donors actually decreases. Why? Because those who used to donate because it was the right thing to do stopped as they saw it as a paid service and the financial reward was not high enough for them. Their intrinsic motivation had been crowded out. Incentives shape the way we perceive reality. Yet science shows that most organizations...
It's not that easy. It's a complex thing. People have done a lot of research. How much incentive should be given? How long it should be given? The quantity, how to increase it. It has its own dynamics. It's not that easy. So this incentive is one component where we get money or non-financial benefit to exceed once an employee exceeds a set level of performance. And the third component is actually the benefits. Okay. The third component is benefits, and these benefits doesn't have any link with the performance level of an employee. Because a person is part of that organization, he or she is entitled to that. Okay. So the last component is benefit and services in compensation packages. Okay. So there might be indirect financial, non-financial payments employees receive for continuing their employment with the company. That is called benefits. If you look at USA, 33 to 40% of wages are actually constitutes the benefits. You take any MNC and look at their Indian page and look at their USA page. In USA page, you will find a lot of information about benefits program. Considerable chunk of their salary goes into benefits. Okay? Some benefits are required by law, while others are discretionary. For example, in India, it is an integral part of compensation offered by companies in formal sector. The type and extent of perquisite is determined by the relevant laws, location-specific practices or requirements, and tax laws. These perquisites are applicable only to categories of workers who are covered by the legislation. The laws on benefits do not include managerial employees, but firms have extended these benefits to managers. Traditionally, the cost incurred by the employer on welfare was not included as a part of employee compensation. However, company now follows cost to company approach where they show all these things and they add it. Okay. Benefits can be classified as pay for time not worked, for example, vacation, holidays, sick leaves, so on and so forth. Insurance benefits, retirement benefits, personal service, family-friendly benefits, counseling, advisory services, IIT, JEE coaching classes, so on and so forth. All these things. You might be aware of cafeteria approach. Are you aware of cafeteria approach of benefits?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell what it is to others, those who are not aware?
So there are like multiple options given to employees, and like they can choose between the allowances.
But the cap is fixed.
Will give
Cap
an
is fixed.
option.
There is a cap.
Cap
You can
is
choose
fixed.
the type of
Will give an
type
option.
Yeah.
So that you can pick the
select as per his requirement.
Yeah. So that is
Yes.
cafeteria approach. Cap is fixed, and within that cap, there is different list. You choose and customizes as per your needs. Okay. Then there are other benefit, flexi work schedules. Okay. There are different flexible work schedule arrangement. One is flex time, where work schedule in which employees' work days are built around the core hours. For example, you must be in office from say 10 to 2, 4 hours. Rest 4 hours, you work before 10, after 10, doesn't matter. That is called fixed time. There are core working hours, 3 to 4 hours. You must be in office. Rest 5 hours or 4 hours, you decide when you want to be in office. Telecommunicating, work from home, that all of us know after COVID what it is. Using technology to work away from the office. Then compressed work week. Instead of working for 6 days or 5 days, 4 days working or something. Schedule in which employees work fewer but longer days in each week. Then job sharing. This is allowing 2 or more people to share a single full-time job. This is some arrangement at some places. Then there is a work sharing arrangement. This is a temporary reduction in work hours by a group of employees during economic downturns as a way to prevent layoff. Instead of saying some employees goodbye, reduce everybody's work hours. At least some amount people get instead of getting full salaries, but all employees are retained. This is again some flexibility. So benefits are also one important component in salary. Now, why this? When we do government job, generally we don't think about these benefits too much. We think about benefits about car benefit and this and that, but private company jots down all these things because when they want to project the job to people, the youngsters, and they want to attract them, that time it matters to them actually, how you are projecting the job. So there is a concept called employee value proposition. This is a you explore. I'm not going to teach this. So there is a concept called employee value proposition. Anybody knows this concept? Okay. Employee value proposition. Okay. For this, actually, we should know all components of the salary. We means HR managers, so that we are able to project the salary in a good way to the individuals. There they customize how to project it to Rameshwar, how to project it to Nafisa, how to project it to Anbarasan, how to project it to Ashish. They customize the projection of their salary. Okay, because you want to attract them to join your company. That's what happens in employee value proposition. We'll take a break for 15 minutes. We'll come back. With this, I am actually finishing the HRM portion. This is what I supposed to teach in 3 classes, but it has took almost 4.5 class sessions, Sundays. So after break, we are going to start analytics. We'll start with descriptive analytics. Certain things. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
We'll be back at 10:45.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Winding up. Any question?
What?
Thank you. We'll meet at 10:45. We'll start analytics. The purpose is to measure. Purpose is to track, measure, and see what can be done in the future so that performance improves. So 3 things we try to do it. Okay. Some of the examples are given here. Okay. For example, hiring ratio. Percentage of offers extended with respect to leads generated. That is called hiring ratio. This is calculated total number of offers extended divided by total number of CV generated multiplied. This total bracket multiplied by 100. Or offer rate. Suppose you conducted 10 interviews, 3 offers are given, then the number of offers given divided by the number of interviews conducted, and whole this is multiplied by 100. So 30%. If 3 are given offer out of 10 interviews, 30%. Similarly, there will be a lot of measures that people use. For example, yield ratio. Measures efficiency stage of each stage in the staffing process. I have given you that pyramid, recruitment pyramid. In that, in each stage, we calculate that. Percentage of person moving to next stage divided by number of person. Actually, persons moving to next stage divided by number of person at prior stage multiplied by 100. In percentage, they call it. Offer decline rate. This is another. This. You gave 15 offer, 2 are declined, 13 joins. That tells you how good is your company or attractive. Or you give 15 offers, only 5 joins, 10 declines. That's the decline rate. Then there is something called reneging. People accept the offer but don't join the firm. How many percentage? That is called the reneging percentage. Number of candidates who accepted the offer but didn't join, divided by total number of accepted offers. Similarly, you can have multiple measures. Another simple, manager satisfaction with recruitment process. You ask the managers, are you satisfied with the hired employees? And find out the percentage of managers who are satisfied is one measure. Or you ask the managers, are they satisfied with the recruitment process? And find the percentage, how many are satisfied. That is a measure of management satisfaction with recruitment. Similarly, you can ask the employees who are hired now. What is your experience of the recruitment process? Are you satisfied with it? And the number of people satisfied, that is called candidate satisfaction with the recruitment process. Similarly, we can have multiple measures, okay, to calculate something. So these are metrics. Some number finally we get, and that number we use it in decision making. Okay. I'm going to give you one example. I'm sending another description to you. Can you please read it? Or can anyone volunteer to read it loudly? This is the example. I have sent it to you. Take a minute or two, read it. Have you gone through the description?
Yes, sir.
There is a company called Tech Innovators. It has been experiencing rapid growth, and you are HR manager working there, tasked with analyzing employee turnover to understand retention trend and improve HR practices. It has 250 employees at the beginning of the year. Throughout the year, 50 employees have joined, 30 employees have left the organization. The company has implemented various initiatives to improve employee satisfaction, including flexi work hours, professional development programs, and wellness activities. Okay. Calculate the employee turnover rate for the year and analyze the results to identify potential areas of improvement. Okay. So this is how turnover rate is another measure that HRs widely use. It is a rate at which employees are leaving. Is my screen visible now, PPT?
Yes, sir.
Rate at which employees are
Yes,
leaving.
sir.
The rate at which employees are leaving the organization in a given time period. This time period may be a year, it may be 6 months, maybe quarter, or maybe month. Okay, a particular time duration. And it is calculated.
Sir, in the given
Some-
example, the number of recruitment cycles have not been mentioned. So how do we determine how many are
Number of employees who left during the period.
So there are 30 employees
not
are
audible
leaving
now.
at a time. So like the recruitment cycle needs to be mentioned because
No,
every
sir, you're audible
recruitment
in
cycle
bits and
has a
pieces.
differential. Yes, sir.
You are audible only when you're looking at the screen and talking. When you are looking at other places, we are not able to hear you.
Okay, sir. So I want to know the like in the given example, the number of recruitment cycles, because when the employees are leaving in a given recruitment cycle, it is like 50 employees intake and 30 leaving the organization. So 20 are remaining. So like it means that
We'll come
like
to that.
it is
I
an
understand that.
example of a given recruitment cycle.
I will come to you. Sir.
Okay, sir.
So the turnover rate is calculated like this. There is a particular period. Here the period is 1 year. How many people left during that period? Divided by average number of employees during that period. We are not calculating turnover rate for a recruitment cycle. We are calculating turnover rate for a period. The way turnover rate calculated is like this. Okay. Number of employees who left during the period. Do you have answer for this in this scenario? How many people has left in 1 year's time period?
30.
30, sir.
30.
30.
Divided by average number of employees during this period. How many average people are there in this period? Okay. I am posting this formula in the Google Classroom. Okay. Now we need two things if we want to calculate this. Okay. We need two things. This is the formula. We need this. Do we have this value?
Yes.
Number of employees who left during the period.
30. Yes, sir. 30.
30. We need the second value.
Average number of.
Do we have this value? Directly we don't have. Okay. Directly we don't have. But there is some average way we can go. Do we tell me this? Do we have this value?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
250.
250.
Do we have?
270.
Is it possible to calculate some average?
Is that 260? Average.
260 it is.
So number of employees at the beginning of the year?
250.
250. Number of employees at the end of the year?
270.
Huh?
270.
How many people joined?
50 joined, 30 left.
Okay. So at the beginning there were 250. How many people joined in the year?
Plus 50 minus 30.
Yes, 30.
30 left. Okay. How much?
270.
So it is 270. If at the beginning of the year is this much people, at the end of the year is this much people, on an average in the year, how much it will be?
260.
270.
250
Now,
plus
hardcore
250.
engineers may find it difficult to digest because it may happen that 50 joined in the December only. So how come on an average in a year that is? HR, we don't have like weighted average and this we use very rarely. HR guys are not good at that much good in engineering numbers and this. Somewhere we take, here it is. At the beginning, this, they calculate like this. Can you calculate the employee turnover rate?
11.54 with 260.
30 upon 260.
Now, employee, Napisa is confused. Engineer? Engineer? Are you engineer?
Yes, sir.
Are you?
Yes, sir. I have done my engineering, but I'm
That is
confused.
the problem because too much number focus. Okay. So number of people who left during this period is 30 divided by
260.
60.
multiplied by
100.
how much it is coming?
11.53.
50%. So when we are HR and we are not able to digest this metric, imagine the condition of non-HR guys. Okay. Because average we have 365 days and then all that calculation comes in our mind when they joined in between and all this stuff. Okay. But please remember when here the period when we say 1 year's box or 3 quarters block or 6 months block, we have to consider that block. We are not doing day-wise analysis. Imagine this in analytics, it is important what is the level of analysis. Okay, level of analysis, period of unit of analysis that is called. Can you tell me characteristics of a good cricketer? Whom will you say good cricketer? What criteria will you use to tell a good cricketer?
Sir, consistency in performance. Consistency.
Okay. Can you tell in cricket terms, what do you mean that? Because consistency of a performance, if I am teaching every class good, that is also consistent performance.
Average, sir. Average should be
Average.
above
Run
50.
rate average.
How many average
Batsman.
laddus he or she eats every day? Is that what you mean? Can you tell me in cricket terms?
Sir, for
Use cricket
batsman
terminology.
above 50.
50.
Sir, if
Huh?
Above 50, sir. 50, above 50.
If a person is 58-year-old cricketer, then he is a good cricketer. Is that
No,
what
no.
you mean?
No.
Ah,
No.
If he is
average of
scoring
what? His weight, age.
runs he has scored, sir.
Okay.
If he scores an average runs,
Runs scored by him per innings
Ah,
more than 50.
okay. And if it is more than 50, okay, that is this. So average runs scored. And if that person is bowler,
3 wickets. Average
the
3
number
wickets.
of, if an average
Number of
number
wickets.
of wickets taken.
wickets taken. Okay. Okay.
Per innings. Yes.
Per innings.
Many times he earned as a man of the match or man of the series.
Okay. Number of times. Man of the match or man of the series.
In case
What
of
else?
bowler, it may be the number of
Now the strike rate.
runs allowed per over.
Huh?
In case of a bowler, it might be the number of runs allowed per over.
Runs allowed.
Sir,
What do you
in
call in cricket?
His economy rates.
Economy
Economy
rate.
rate.
Strike rate. At what strike rate?
Strike rate is for bowler or batsman?
For batsman, for bowler, for both.
Okay. Can you tell me now? This is for cricketer. Can you tell me the characteristics of good cricket team? Can I write same? How many times number of matches, man of the series matches, strike rate, economy rate?
It would be number
Percentage of winning
number of
matches, sir. Ratio percentage of winning
number of
matches.
series
Percentage.
or number of trophies.
Number of trophies. Not
Especially
only
ICC
matches, but finally whether it
ICC
is
trophies.
turning.
Especially ICC trophies.
Okay.
World Cup, sir.
We may add finalist,
Pardon?
finalist, not only winning match, but also we can include
Winning trophy, whether it's a World Cup or what, that also matters. You may win multiple matches, but may not win the World Cup.
The ranking in the like the
Ranking.
top 10 or like that.
Yeah, the ranking is decided with some criteria. So that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Okay. But can you see there is a difference in this, the way we try to evaluate an individual who is a part of cricket team and the way we evaluate team? It's a different, right? This is called in analytics, unit of analysis. What are we trying to evaluate? Okay. Unit of analysis. Unit of analysis can be individual. It can be team. It can be plant. It can be department. It can be whole organization. It can be industry, IT industry, so on and so forth. When we are dealing at team level, don't get bothered about the individual level. When we are dealing the team level criteria, don't get confused with individual level criteria. When we are taking call and looking at different teams to decide which are great team, don't get bothered about in their team, there is a Brian Lara and who scores very well. That's fine. When we do individual analysis, we will get involved into that. When we are dealing team level, be with the team level criteria. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same way here also, when we are dealing with a period, the period is 1 year. Be fixed to period. Don't bother about the another time entity called a day. If you start dealing with day, somebody will say, okay, on that day, that person joined at 4:30 p.m. and your office got closed at 5 p.m. Day again, time we can divide into hours. Hours we can divide into minutes. Minutes we can divide into seconds. But we have chosen a particular period. Stick to that period. Suppose somebody joins your company at 9 a.m. and another person joins the company at 4:30 p.m. and somebody asks you whether that A and B were your employees on this date. What are you going to say? Yes or no? If it's not a legal court, it's a yes.
So we'll say yes.
Yes. Same way here also, when we are dealing at one entity of period, that is year, don't get confused with days and hours and other stuff. Okay. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So all this stuff is called metrics. To go back, metrics is a specific measure we use to track and evaluate various aspects of the human resource function. Okay. So like we have calculated turnover rate, like that multiple measures can be calculated. Okay. But there is one trick or one issue with HR metrics. If you look at accounting, the way accounting is done in Infosys in India, same way it happens in Microsoft India, same way it happens in DVC, same way it happens in NTPC, same way it happens in IIM Kashipur, same way it happens in IIT Bombay or IIM Ahmedabad. Accounting standards are fixed. Their definitions are fixed. But in HRM, condition is not so. HR has not a standard set of definitions. I think I have given you an example. Time to hire. Okay. Imagine this example of time to hire. Some company may calculate time to hire like this. I'm sharing my screen. Time to hire. This is one measure. Some company may calculate this measure. Now, days taken from the day on which advertisement is given and the employee has joined the company. How many days that it has taken? Okay. From the time, date on which advertisement is given till the employee joined the company, the first day. Another company may define time to hire as the days taken from the date on which a department communicated its vacancy to HR department and the date on which employee joined. Now, if I use the company, different days, and some company says join the department, that is another different thing. People may join a company, they may do one month's training program and join the company after 1 month. Okay, so how you calculate that varies, definitions varies. Okay, somebody will say like this, or somebody will say have another definition, something like this. Join the department. Now, all the three definitions are definitions of time to hire, right? But you will get, for the same process, you will get different numbers. So merely the number doesn't tell a story in HR. You have to look at how that number, how the company has arrived at that number. What is the definition? Days taken from date, advertisement, and the employee joined. That may be different number. That's taken the vacancy communicated and the person joined the company. Vacancy communicate, person joined the department. These are different things. So in HR, there is no standard set of definition. What it means for us as a manager. For us as a manager, if we are looking at a particular number, we should not get carried away only with that number. We have to look at what definition is used to capture that number. For example, time to hire for IIM Kashipur faculty. If you have to hire a faculty at IIM Kashipur is 50 days. And somebody says, okay, time to hire for say another IIM Ranchi is 30 days. And we may think that, okay, IIM Kashipur, it takes a lot of time. But how these 30 and 50 days are calculated is important. For example, if IIM Ranchi is using the first definition to calculate the time to hire, then it is definitely, it will be less, because from the time the vacancy is communicated to the HR department, then it comes as advertisement, it takes time. And suppose IIM Kashipur is calculated like this, then by definition, it is going to have more days. To compare these two values, we need to have a same way of measurement. Then only we can compare. Suppose as IIM Kashipur, I want to check it with IIM Ranchi's time to hire, and if they have calculated like this, then probably I have to see when IIM Kashipur gave the advertisement and when the faculty joined IIM Kashipur. And suppose that comes 25 and here it is showing 50. That means IIM Kashipur is doing good. Only just I should not compare number. Look at the definition. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
This is very important. HR has not had a standard set of definitions. Please keep it in mind. So if a report says, a McKinsey report says, or some consultancy company report says that this time to hire is this much, turnover rate is this much, XYZ is this much, we should not go with that number only. Look for the formula that is used to calculate that. When you want to make a conclusion for your company, only if it is calculated like that formula, then we can make. Otherwise, it's a risky business. Okay. So there is a institute called the Saratoga Institute, which is very popular in HR metrics. Okay. This institute is founded by one professor in 1985, and they have calculated a lot of metrics. Now it is acquired by PwC, and it is called PwC Human Capital Service Offering. I am posting this link in your Google, this chat box. Okay. Can you open this and just check it once? I have sent it. Please check it once. Before that, just give me half minute. So this is actually one of the popular institute which has came up with a lot of metrics. The idea of metrics is popularized by the founder of this institute. Now it is captured by PwC, acquired by PwC. It classifies HR metrics into several categories such as staffing metrics, efficiency metrics, productivity metrics, equity metrics. And it is known for comprehensive work analytics and benchmarking. Please open this website. Take a look at this website.
Glossary of HR.
So I have also opened glossary of HR metrics, and they have given the HR metrics names. For example, 90-day total turnover rate. Generally, companies are bothered about 90 days, how much people are working, whether they are doing. So the 90-day turnover rate measures the percentage of non-contingent employees that voluntarily and involuntarily left the organization within 3 months of their hire date. Similarly, there is average number of direct reports, cost per hire. And you can see that definitions are there. Cost per hire is the average amount spent on each hire. This includes non-contingent, full-time, part-time, per diem hires, exclude qualified interns, and what cost to be included, that is given there. Can you see cost per hire with me? Third metric. So definition is there. What cost is included in it is given. Having higher cost or cost per hire than other companies may indicate the financial efficiency of your hiring process. How to interpret is given. And at the end, there is something called assess our 2022 HR national benchmark average for cost per hire. That link is there. If you click on that link, it will go to a place where it will show that, okay, national average, that is probably US value, cost per hire is $2,700. And if you want industry-wise different things, okay, there is a report that you can download. You have to give your email ID and so on and so forth, but you will get that report. You have to give your personal details. They will give you a report. This benchmarker reports is very common phenomenon. Similarly, we can see for others, direct headcount, executive headcount, finance, okay. First year service turnover rate, some there. There also you can see 35% people leave actually in first year itself. So it gives you a lot of information. Okay. And you can get industry-wise report, detailed report, and you can compare. These are either paid or free services. Previously, Society for Human Resources also used to give reports like this. In India, we don't have much reports available. That gives you something to compare with others. For example, we did this turnover rate calculation, right? How much was the turnover rate for the tech innovators?
11.53.
5.3. Is it whether that company is it in good shape or in a bad shape as far as turnover is there? How to take a call?
We need to compare with the industry average.
We need to compare with the industry average. Okay. And we need that value to compare. Then only we will be able to make a call. Suppose industry average is 20%, probably you are in a good shape. If not, you are not. Or otherwise, look at your own turnover last year. Suppose it was 15%, now it is 11.5%, then your situation is improving.
Historical
turnover-
data compare with.
Yeah, comparison matters. Okay. But there is one more problem, especially with turnover rate. Not with other metrics, but what I'm saying, when we are trying to draw some conclusion from metrics, we have to compare with others. Okay. But turnover rate, there is one problem. Simple comparison doesn't give us much thing. Because who is leaving? That also matters. Suppose this 11.54%, if low performing people are leaving, then story is different. If 11.54%, or suppose it's 1%, but your top performing people are leaving, then it's another headache for company. Industry average may be 20%, yours may be 5%, but in that 5%, 1% total is by 20% of 5%, that is 1% whole is high performers. Then it's a big headache for company, even though your rate is very, very less. So you need a care while interpreting this. Are you getting the issue that I'm trying to point out?
Right, sir. Yes.
So this is one of the extensive work on HR metrics. You can refer this, okay, to get some of the definition, how they calculate, to get some of the industry averages. Okay. Can I move ahead? But as I said, these definitions vary. Saratoga may define in one way, others will define in another way. There is another very popular professional body in USA called Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM. They come up with their own definitions, okay, of HR metrics. It classifies HR metrics into several categories. Basically, 8 categories they have come up with. Some they call strategic management metrics. All are HR related, but inclination towards strategy. HR management, finance management, workforce planning and staffing, training management, talent management, total reward related metrics, employee relation related metrics, risk management related metrics. And then they have definitions for each of these metrics. In each, there are that 8 components, there are further several metrics. And in that, each of these, there are definitions. Can you open the shared document? And save it. It's an important document. Take 2 minutes, take a look at this document. You can use it in your work later. So there are 8 different types they have defined. Broadly, six types they have defined. And in each type, they have further different metrics. SHRM defines it into 6 broad categories like this. Strategic management related HR metrics, workforce planning related metrics and staffing, talent management related metrics, total reward related metrics, employee relation related metrics, risk management related HR metrics. And in each, they have given formulas. For example, in strategic management, break-even point. The point in time when cost invested in developing or improving HR program is equal to or greater than the return. So they have given description, they have given formula, they have given some small examples so that you get idea about what is that matrix is. Okay. Spend some time, get feel of this HR matrix. If you are working in, if you have done recruitment and selection work, go to the recruitment selection work, look at that. If you have worked in training and development, go to the relevant area, look at that. If you have worked in corporate office, go to the strategic management, look at what are the, how they are trying to capture that bigger macro dynamics. Whichever area you like, you go there. If you have worked in, say, well-being, go to that related matrix, safety and other stuff, how they are trying to capture it. Look at 2-3 metric, their title, their description, their formula. Save this document. Once you go to 2-3 metrics, let me know, we can move ahead. We can take a look afterwards. Should we move ahead? Or you want to take a look? Look at the area where you have some work X. Try to see how that area is tried to capture. How the performance of that area is tried to capture. Be it training or development, performance management, appraisal or recruitment selection, whatever it is. Should we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Should we move ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, please, sir.
You can keep that document. It's an important document. Please save it. That will give you a good idea about HR metrics, their definitions. And if you search Google, every year you will get top 20, 10 HR metrics popularly used this year. LinkedIn will come up with its own definitions. Others will give you own definitions. But as I said previously, with the example of time to hire, we need to be careful about how that number people have arrived at. What is the definition? Okay. Otherwise, there is a problem. Like I said that in HR, we don't have standards like accounting. Definitions are not same. One of the popular body is Saratoga Institute. Another popular body is Society for Human Resource Management that has come up with this definition. Third body is very popular in UK. SHRM is popular in USA. Saratoga is popular in USA. In India, people generally follow USA. In UK, this institute called CIPD, Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, that is popular, and they have come up with their own dictionary of HR metrics. It classified HR metrics as per the different stages of a typical HR process. For example, recruitment and selection metrics, L&D metrics, so on and so forth. And there is a fourth body that is called Talent Development Reporting Principle. Some group came together and they tried to formulate some principle, but it has not accepted by all. They developed its own metrics. It classified into efficiency, effectiveness, and outcome metrics. So there are multiple ways people tried. Okay. Why do you think HR metrics are required? Now you know what is HR metrics. Now you have seen in examples of HR metrics. Can you just try to tell me, based on your experience, why these HR metrics are needed? HR metrics are very popular in the industry. Why do you think that they are so popular in the industry? Why do you think they are important or required?
So to evaluate it and take the decisions.
To compare ourselves with other companies, we need some metrics.
Decisions.
So to address the issues, like,
can you be specific?
It's an appraisal.
Give me one example.
so for
Give
example,
me one example and clarify this.
so for
Sir,
example,
is like if
For
it,
manpower staffing or future investment.
One by one. There were 3 people trying to talk. 2 ladies, 1 gentleman. Okay. So whom will you give chance first?
the gentleman.
For staffing, manpower staffing, sir.
Manpower staffing. Okay. Give me example. Manpower staffing. So
Okay.
what?
Forecasting of our manpower requirement or type of manpower required to meet our
Okay.
future goal.
Okay. And we want to know also whether we reached our goal or not, whether we materialized our goal or not. Okay. 2 ladies.
To evaluate the performance of our company and to know the best practices of the industry and how we can enhance our company's performance by those best performance
Okay.
evaluation.
With respect
To
to
check
other-
the effectiveness of the process, whether it's a recruitment process, existing recruitment process, or the performance process we're opting for, its effectiveness.
So we want to improve the process. For that, probably it will help. Okay.
so like employee
Yes.
turnover, absenteeism is there. So with the HR matrix, we can highlight those problem areas and can resolve the issues.
Okay. So highlighting problem areas.
So even there are some time-bound processes or the TATs.
Okay.
So through these matrices, we can see we are into those TATs or not.
Time bound.
Processes. Maybe they
Okay.
are even if it is recruitment or any other process we are following.
Okay, time-bound processes.
Yeah, there's a TAT given for that. So through these matrices also we can see we are into that particular TAT or
TAT
we are
means
following
what?
that.
TAT means
Time, particular
Turnaround
time
time.
given period.
That is a
Turnaround time. Yes,
turnaround
turnaround time.
Yeah.
turnaround time. Okay. So that itself is a one matrix itself.
Yes, sir.
That itself is a one matrix, turnaround time. Okay.
Yes. So if we are within that
Okay.
timeline or not.
Okay.
Sir, HR practices can be valued in terms of financial efficiency also.
That is the way which HR metrics we should give importance and how to calculate. That is the question, whether should we consider financial years. If you look at this document given, there are financial related metrics also there. You look at it.
No, I'm talking about whole HR practices. Matlab, this HR matrix helps in evaluating the HR practices to the financial. It will take to the financial matlab, evaluation.
Are you trying to say this?
Yes, sir. Right.
HR's financial impact, is it making or not? Or is it a burden to the organization?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay. That also it helps. Yes.
The HR matrix is also required to improvise our method. Suppose our like the time taken for the entire recruitment process is greater, then we can improvise our methods to reduce the time.
Methods or processes? Yeah, processes or methods. It can tell also method whether it is a appropriate method we are implementing. Are we getting the results in this way? For example, I want to teach compensation. The way I taught to your class is a typical one-way communication method or some conversation. There can be other also method. Like we did hands-on for selecting a CV. We can do hands-on on drafting a compensation package for an individual and which way it works better. That can also tell us, and that will help us which method we should be followed. So it helps us to improve processes. It helps us to choose the right methods. Okay.
It also helps in seeing the progress in compared to the
Yes,
previous years.
Yes.
And maybe required to present to management.
To
Sir,
keep track of progress and take corrective actions.
Right, sir.
Yes.
Sir, also to quantify the HR practices and interventions that has been taken.
That is the fundamental first thing. Quantification. It helps us to have conversation with others. Yes,
Output, HR output, intervention or the practices which has been followed in last year or in budget cycle or something.
Yes, very true.
The benchmarking and having a competitive advantage over the others.
Benchmarking is the next step. Yes, it helps us in understanding, benchmark, compare with others and decide where we are. Yes, very good.
For R&D.
For everything. Yes, very true. So first, as Ashish Kumar pointed out, it helps us to measure, quantify it, because many times there is allegation that whatever HR does is in air and HR doesn't contribute. So it helps us to actually measure something. HR metrics provide a way to measure and assess the performance of specific HR processes, practices, such as L&D, recruitment, engagement. It helps us to identify areas of improvement. By tracking HR metrics, organizations can identify areas of where they are underperforming and take actions to improve that. It also helps us to ensure compliance. For example, simple HR metrics. We have different categories in recruitment in government, general category, SC category, ST category, this category, that. And we need that numbers, percentage wise and this. That helps us to keep the compliance related matters intact. Okay. Similarly, in safety, there might be some compliance issues. So it helps us to comply with the law. It helps us to check the effectiveness of HR initiatives. HR metrics provide a way to evaluate effectiveness of HR initiatives and drives. And Rashi was talking about benchmarking. We are able to have comparison with others. If we have this number, we can compare it with others and judge how good or worst we are against the industry standards, best practices, and that gives us insight, the need for improvement, need to keep up the we are ahead. I'm going to look at some of the ways the HR metrics are classified. There are 5 different ways, types of HR metrics. One is efficiency-related metrics. Efficiency-related metrics evaluate how resources are used to achieve outcomes. The purpose is to check how resources are used to achieve outcomes. These metrics focus on productivity and cost effectiveness. For example, if it's a manufacturing plant, cost per unit is a metrics. It's not HR metrics, but cost per unit is a metric which is efficiency-related metrics as per this definition. Time to completion, resource utilization, all these related metrics are efficiency metrics. In HR, we can take examples include time to hire. How time is utilized. Time is one of the resource. Measures the average time taken to fill a vacant position. And cost per hire. So money is another resource. Employee productivity evaluates the output of employees in relation to their input, how they are using resources. One of the issue, suppose time to hire, even the definitions are same. For company A is 40 days. Is it good or bad? Answer, please.
So please
So
repeat.
again, what parameter we are taking, it depends on
Time
the
to hire
It's
is the
very necessary to
parameter.
have the
Time to
parameters.
hire is the parameter to compare two organizations. Suppose in one organization, time to hire is 40. Is it a good or bad?
It depends on which position.
Okay. On which position? I'm
Like
say, yeah, level you are saying, level. Suppose,
yes.
okay. Level is also say defined, say entry level position. Entry level engineering position. 40 days. Is it good or bad?
Bad, sir.
The
Why?
bad.
Why?
Level, all are freshers only. They will not serving any notice period in any company. 40
Now,
days time.
what is your understanding of time to hire? Time to hire is the time taken by the recruitment and selection process. You have to give advertisement, you have to conduct interview, and then person joins. The time taken for whole this process is 40 days.
The 1 month is okay.
Why?
Again, sir, benchmarking.
It
Benchmarking
totally
we
depends.
need. We need
Position.
Yeah, it totally
benchmarking.
depends on the comparative data or the
Okay,
benchmarking data.
comparative data. Suppose the industry average is 50 days.
Okay.
Is it good or bad?
Good, sir.
Then it is good.
Good.
But we also need to consider previous historic data for that case.
Why?
So
Because
it
I'm going
also
to ask-
depends how soon the company needs it. It's even if it is 50 days is good, but our company needs it maybe
Shweta,
as immediate
50
as
days is
possible.
not in the company's time taken. In that particular industry, generally companies take 50 days time. This
Yes,
company is taking 40 days time. This company is taking 40 days. So is
Okay,
it good
sir.
or bad? That's the question.
In compared to that, that is fine, that is good. But if in previous scenarios, our company has hired for less than this period, like
Yeah.
maybe in 30 days or 25 days or 20 days also. So
Hmm.
obviously they will see like
Okay,
previously.
with respect to your own performance previously, it may be good or bad. For that, we don't have
Yes.
data. Okay.
Yes,
But compared to industry standard, it is a good.
right, sir.
That's what you are saying and Ashish is saying. Good.
Yes, sir.
6 months down the line, suppose these people, the bosses to whom these people are reporting, They are cribbing that what is the worst lot of employees that you have recruited. Okay. Is it a good company? What I'm saying is that efficiency related metrics, okay, has one limitation. It cannot tell us about the quality of the resource utilization, service quality, or impact of HR.
Right,
It can only compare. Metrics has its own limitation. Each metric has its own limitation. Efficiency related metrics, it will tell, okay, with as far as days required for recruitment and selection process, you are doing good or bad job. But at the end, you have done some job. But what is the quality of that job? You are supposed to there to choose best people, but you have chosen worst people. So the job done, probably you have done in a less time, but whether good or bad, that 6 months down the line only, people are saying cribbing, then there is a problem. So efficiency related metrics are good to know about productivity, cost effectiveness related stuff, but it doesn't talk about quality. For that, you need different metrics. Are you with me?
Right, sir. Yes.
Effectiveness metrics. Okay. Effectiveness metrics measure how well a process or activity achieves its intended outcomes. How good it at achieving intended outcomes. For example, recruitment and selection process is for a particular purpose, to select good candidates. But the efficiency related metric doesn't tell us whether the selected candidates are good or bad. Once 6 months are over, you ask their managers, or 1 year is over, and then managers feel it's a worst lot, then it's a problem. So that is captured here in effectiveness related metrics. For example, employee satisfaction measures how satisfied employees are with their job or work environment. It talks about quality of work environment, quality of jobs. Training effectiveness, it talks about the worth of trainings, performance ratings, quality of hire, that is another thing. I have not jotted down here. Quality of hire, that's effectiveness related metrics. Then there are impact related metrics, third type. Impact related metrics assess the broader effects or changes resulting from a process or activity. These metrics focus on long-term outcomes and overall influence. For example, return on investment measures the financial return generated from investment relative to its cost. For example, social impact evaluates positive or negative effects on the society or community. Environmental impact, financial impact, social impact, environmental impact, all measures related to this are impact metrics. For example, in companies, employee turnover rate, this impact measures the rate at which employees leave the organization. Return on investment for HR initiatives, that is the impact related metrics. Diversity and inclusion related, percentage of diversity of people, that's the impact related metrics. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We will revisit the scenario that we started with. Okay. Can you open it? We started with this scenario today's class, second class. Can you please switch on camera? It is very difficult to have a conversation. Otherwise, next time onwards, I'm going to keep my camera off and teach. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We started with this scenario, today's class, right? Wellness program. And you have suggested some of the measures for that. These are the measures you suggested, how you will decide whether it's a successful or not. Now you know what are the different things we like to capture. For example, efficiency related metrics, you would like to check how resources are utilized. Effectiveness programs, you would like to check the wellness program are intended to improve certain things, whether that improvement is happening or not. Impact related something, organizational level or something level impact. Can you think of measures and where you can put, okay, these are the efficiency related metrics we can capture for this. These are effectiveness related metrics we can capture to check this. These are impact related metrics that we can capture. Can you think of? Initially, I asked just metrics. Now, some of you were talking about impact, some of you were talking about efficiency. But now think in a structured way and tell me 3 different types of metrics that you will use to capture the success of this program. Tell me 1 or 2 efficiency related metrics. Tell me 1 or 2 effectiveness related metrics. Tell me 1 or 2 impact related metrics. And in this table, I have the document, I have given you the definitions at the bottom. What do you mean by efficiency and this? If you are not able to get, I have given that at the bottom. You can think about it. Because you might have forgotten what is written in the PPT, so I have given it here. Will you be able to tell me 1 impact related matrix for this? Or I will leave it for your discussion, group discussion. Okay. Think about it. We have formulated groups. You discuss and upload that afterwards. Some effectiveness related metrics for this business scenario, some efficiency related metrics, some impact related metrics. Are you finding it too easy, too difficult? It's a practical problem, right? These are real life scenarios. We are about, it's at 12 now, so I don't have much time. I wanted to take discussion about it in class, but that's not possible. What I will do, I will upload the today's class discussion also in the Google Classroom, so that whatever metrics you have suggested by whole class, that list is already there. And you can later contemplate, discuss among yourself, and give me at least 2 efficiency related metrics, 2 effectiveness related metrics, and 2 impact related metrics. Okay, that you can use to capture the impact of this program, to capture the effectiveness of this program, to capture the efficiency of this. Okay. Can I move ahead? Some theory I want to complete before winding up this.
Sure, sir.
So, then there is another type of metrics called lead metrics. We have seen efficiency related metrics, we have seen effectiveness related metrics, we have seen impact related metrics. Also, there is another type that is called lead metrics. Lead metrics, these are also known as leading indicators. These are predictive measures that indicate future performance. Future performance, whether it will be good or bad. Suppose you want to enroll people in a particular program, and this year you are getting a lot of inquiry about this program, then it's an indication that probably you will get more leads this year. So this is lead metrics. They provide and help forecasting outcomes. For example, number of sales calls made. This helps us to predict sales. Higher the sales call generally turns into this, provided other conditions remain same. Customer inquiries suggest potential future sales or interest in product or service. Training hours completed. This indicates that person might have learned 0 training hours, 10 hours spent on training, 20 hours spent on training. That tells us a person has spent a lot of time on learning new skills. Probably new skills might have learned. Number of job applications received. If you get very less CV, it indicates something. If you get good CVs, large number of CVs, that's a predicts future hiring success. You have a lot of options. Employee engagement activities. These are type of, if you define in this way, these are called lead metrics. These are leading indicators that help us in forecasting outcome. Then there are lag measures also. Lag metrics also. Okay. Lag metrics, also known as lagging indicators, measure the outcomes of past performance. They are reactive and provide insight into what has already happened. For example, revenue reflects the financial performance of past sales efforts. Employee turnover rate shows the rate at which employees left the organization over a specific period. Employee retention rate, it already has happened, reflect the percentage of employees who stay with the company over a specific period. Employee performance scores indicate the effectiveness of past training and development programs, and so forth. Revenue per employee measures the financial performance of the organization relative to its workforce size. So we have seen 5 different types the metrics can be formulated: efficiency, effectiveness, impact, lead, and lag metrics. Okay. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we can define it in a different ways, the metrics, and that helps us.
One question is like when we talk about this effectiveness and efficiency measures, like when we talk about employee performance scores. So this is a efficiency measure.
Don't get confused with the term efficiency that engineers use. The term effectiveness that engineers or others use. In metrics, this is the definition of efficiency metrics. This is the definition of effectiveness metrics. Now, some of the measures might fall into 2 categories. That may happen.
Okay.
That may happen.
Okay, so a lag matrix can have some matrices from
overlap with impact metrics.
Okay.
Impact metrics. Impact matrices and lag metrics, there is an overlap. Lag metrics also like to check the outcome. Impact metrics also like to check outcome. But impact metrics is more bothered about particular initiative. Say impact of training and development, impact of wellness programs. Lag metrics is little bit broader term. Impact is one of the subcategory of lag metrics, you can say. So there are sometimes overlap. Sometimes some metric may fall into 2 categories. That is happening. Very true. Hope I clarified it. In summary, lead metrics help predict future success, while lag metrics provide a retrospective view of the past performance. So how all this metrics idea started? It started in 1978. Some historical overview. There is this gentleman is a Professor Jack Fitz-Ames. How to pronounce? I know his name. I don't know. Professor Jack Fitz-Ames. I don't know how to pronounce. 1978, he published an article titled "The Measurement Imperative" in a personal journal. It is a workforce management, now it is called. Okay. And he published this article. Nobody gave damn about this article at that time, neither academicians nor practitioners. But this gentleman kept on arguing that we have to measure HR. We have to quantify HR activities. And so he came up with, nobody gave attention. He came up with books called How to Measure Human Resource Management. He started measuring. The idea of metrics got impetuous after this book. Professor Jack Fitz-Ames championed the work such as designing metrics for the measurement of HR activities in 1978 and HR benchmarking in 1985. And he only started actually Saratoga Institute, which is now acquired by PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So he is a founder of that Saratoga Institute. this benchmarking aim to establish the best HR practices. I asked you to go to the PwC and Saratoga website, and we checked also. They give benchmarking. We have seen that they are giving benchmarking, industry average and all this stuff, reports also for each of the metrics. Are you able to relate or no? This is their website, Saratoga and this. Suppose this metric, if we click here, they are giving industry average. This helps us in benchmarking. If you get the report, you will get industry-wise report also. You have to give your name and email ID, you will get it. This is the benchmarking report idea that is popularized by Professor Jack Pittsenz and then his startup. And SHRM also comes with a lot of industry benchmark reports. Okay. Professor Jack Pittsenz, he called for measuring HR activities related with organizational goals. He said that we should have HR metrics that are related to organization's goal. And we should compare it with other organizations. That was one of the things that he argued for. Then there was another important book called Balanced Scorecard. Do you remember the gentleman's name? Robert S. Kaplan and David P. Norton. We have seen their names in performance appraisal and performance management. These two people, they introduced Balanced Scorecard and they popularized one idea that managers must go beyond financial metrics. We should think of other metrics also to capture the performance holistically and to ensure that organization remains sustainable. So they said that refined managers thinking about metrics, and they say that go beyond financial measures. Okay. And then there was another work by Baker, Horslead, and Ulrich, Dave Ulrich. They said that the metrics must be linked with corporate strategy. HR scorecard, which highlights how the alignment of HR activities with both corporate strategy and activity improve organizational outcome. They said that our metrics must be aligned with organizational strategy. Okay. So good metrics goes beyond finance. They are aligned with organizational goals, with organizational strategy. And that tells us that when we cannot have same set of metrics for all organizations, because every organization differs in terms of their organizational strategy. We have to customize metrics in our own setting. When I am asking and forcing you to think about the metric about wellness program, I am trying to force you to think about customization. Otherwise, I have given you 15-page, 17-page document where there are multiple metrics. There are multiple metrics, definitions, description is given. But when I am asking you to focus on that wellness program and give me the metrics, what I'm saying is customize it to your requirement. This is the ability individual HR managers has to develop. Okay. Are you with me? I would like to show you one more benchmarking, okay? One more benchmarking survey that SHRM used to come with. Just give me a few seconds. I will show you one benchmarking surveys. Any doubt about this metrics? If you search Google, you will get a lot of metric definitions, and people talk about metrics popular metrics in 2024, popular metrics in 2025 that we should focus. Everything is fine, but what is important is actually we should customize the metrics as per the requirement of organization. And while customization, what should be our focus? The focus should be that the metrics is aligned with organization's goal, metric is aligned with organization strategy. The metrics which are aligned, that are important. Metrics which are not aligned, that are not important. And one more criteria, we must go beyond financial metrics. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm showing you the benchmarking survey. I'm not able to locate because now SHRM is not giving it freely. So one of the old surveys with me. I'm not able to locate it. I'll show you in next class sometime. So it is like something like 1 minute. I think I got it. This is another, not SHRM, but this is another report where they will give, this is that monster.com no, company, they come up with index and reports every month. So Monster Employment Index report, it is called. In November 2017, how many jobs were there on Monster's databases, and production and manufacturing. In April 18, how many jobs were there? April 19, how many jobs are there? Growth, how much is happening or decline is happening? Like that, comparisons will be there. These are industry-wise comparison, but in HR benchmarking reports, for example, recruitment reports, there will be benchmarking about how many companies are using particular sources, how much is time to hire, how much is advertisement cost, average advertising cost spent in the industry. Like that, there will be numbers. These are called industry benchmarking reports. Okay. You have a quiz planned, I think, next week. Right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So for the quiz, HR metrics is not the syllabus. Apart from HR metrics, whatever is discussed is the syllabus. Okay. Any doubt?
So it will be in the morning as the earlier one.
That's absolutely no idea to me. But these people will tell you. Sarvesh, any idea? Sarvesh, are you there? I think he's not there. I will ask him to inform you at what time it is. It will be in class hours only. That is the call we have taken. If the class starts at 9:15, probably 9 to 12:15 is the slot for class. So in that time somewhere. Sarvesh, at what time is the quiz?
So you'll inform later on then.
Okay, no problem. So he will inform you about that. Next class, we are going to see a case study about metrics. Okay. So probably you will get a case study in 3-4 days or 4-5 days. But we will discuss that in next year, 2025, 5th of January. Meanwhile, enjoy your vacations, if at all enjoy your exam. I will post the material related to metrics notes in the Google Classroom. Should we wind up the class?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
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 Thank you, sir.